Hello, it is Olive Raw. I am an intuitive medical. I sometimes do tarot card readings. I do Reiki sessions, which I don't do anymore. I don't accept clients for that anymore, but I still do intuitive medical scanning. So if you're interested in any of that sessions, where I just scan you, or tarot card reading because you want some insight into your personal life, reach out to me. But I want to go ahead and tell you a story time, because last night I got a telepathic message, or like a V2K, from a group that is not telepathic, but they have technology that mimics that. And so this particular person was telling me in the hearing aid technology to not spread disinformation. Okay, my whole channel is not about spreading disinformation. It's about sharing my psychic abilities and things that I've seen. My posts lately have been about extraterrestrial because I've been in contact with them. I had visitations, and some of them are using either text to communicate with me, because I am like an antenna. So I'm like this telepathic antenna person. Okay, and I don't spread disinformation. I spread psychic insight. They cannot be verified unless someone verifies them. Okay? There's many things that I've spoken up on, that I've seen, that I've psychically read without the filters of other people's perception. For example, I pick up, of course, human experimentations that are happening, and human being bred in a program. And these humans have already come forward and released insight. They get interviewed. They say things like they are super soldiers, and they have further insights on these dumb bases. I think they call them as like an acronym for deep underground military bases. So I've been speaking up a lot on that. I've been speaking up a lot on that since my visitation in Laos, in Ban Muang Khai, which is close to the mountain Guangxi, which is where their base is located. You don't believe me? You can go to Guangxi, try to access their bases there. And maybe if you can go in, if they don't kill you first, then I've been telling the truth this entire time. There's bases underground throughout the United States. And you know what they do with these bases? And they're gonna, so this little birdie was telling me not to spread disinformation. And all I'm saying, these are information from my psychic readings. You can go and verify them. There are bases throughout this world, inside mountains. There's bases in Colorado, okay? There's bases in California. There's bases in Arizona. There's bases in Hawaii. There's bases all over the world. And these bases are experimentation bases, where the local population above ground are then taken down into these bases for experimentation, particularly if they have a certain trait, for a breeding program. And these breeding programs do create what they want to call super soldiers. These super soldiers have come out. These bases are doing horrible things to these kids. I've seen a psychic kid reach out to me during extreme parts of torture, and this is where they're going to say this is disinformation, but this is how the channel came through. Okay? And there's a blonde woman that's military. She's blonde. She's their mom, because as these kids are like placed on like a metal plate, because those people in those space can't control the psychic kids that they want. They want psychic kids to use. It's almost like Stranger Things, but except the brainchild behind these projects is E.T. Okay? So they're building these kids. This is how they're building their military, to fight other alien faction, which they should not be fighting these other alien faction, because these other alien faction, from what I perceived, are good. But they're here. They're pulling people down. So in the United States, the basis is they work with the U.S. military. the Grey, the Orions, the negative alien agenda has taken over the US military. So don't look around at that blonde hair buzz cut kid, because he may be a gray human hybrid splice. And he works maybe in the Air Force, the Navy, because I've seen a Navy, and I used to think this guy was okay, you know, like he would come through the restaurant I used to work at. I thought he was okay, and he did tell me he has a Navy background, so I didn't think anything about him. Okay, I thought he was just a normal guy, came out the military, went to school, business school, and all of a sudden he's doing what I did for the owner of this restaurant, who's like a family friend of mine. That's why I was given this job. Before, when I was in art school, I would always help this family friend with graphics design and web stuff, whatever he needed. All of a sudden, this guy comes in and is literally doing my job, which I don't care, because that's not something I really want to do anyways, for this particular family friend business restaurant. All I'm saying is that if this little birdie is telling me not to spread misinformation, all I can say is, if this insight that I'm giving is misinformation, it needed to be verified. All psychic information and psychic reading needs to be verified. You can give this insight and you can go search for it and try to verify it, or you can trust it. I trust it due to the fact that I can find things. For example, I could be in a busy, crowded mall. I could be in like a busy shopping mall, and if I'm with a family who's wandered off, I can detach from my body, locate them psychically, and then come back to attach to my body, and then I'm out there finding them in an aisle, frozen food aisle, or in a flower section of the grocery store. So I could do that. All I can say is that the other insight I get from these military bases is that, yes, they are torturing children that they're breeding to build soldiers. They're using humans to build their soldiers to fight their alien enemies. The other negative factions are using humans as soldiers, building them up as soldiers. And if there's any soldier in this program that's not aware of it, they need to be aware of it now. Okay? Because some of these soldiers are human, but they're just spliced with certain human. Like my people, we're known to be intuitive. Okay, we're known to be intuitive. We're known to be shamans. We're the ones really spearheading this Eastern healing stuff that isn't magical. It's just a part of our culture, and we're just sharing it. Sometimes like Westerners, when they tap into that, they're just like, they think it's weird, which I understand. They're used to Western medicine. And they're just used to Western medicine, and maybe Eastern medicine seems too magical, you know, and it's not. It's Eastern philosophy, Eastern way of thought. The Westerners took it and turned it into a new age concept. Okay, especially those in the CIA, they've stolen a lot of like Eastern religion, spirituality, twisted it and created this whole new religion. They call it the New Age. They take the ascension process is a Buddhist process when you finally reach nirvana after many, many reincarnations and cycles of samsara, which is cycles of suffering, before you can even detach and be in eternity of heaven at the higher state of frequency, which they talk about as a part of the ascension process. Right? The New Age community also talks about reincarnation, but then they integrated with their own pagan beliefs, and they integrated with their own Christo understanding of God, Christianity, Catholicism, and all of that. The belief in one God really was introduced by Akhenaten, who used it as a political ploy to unite people so they would work together for his cause. And that's what it was used. Was as a unity to unite people so they don't fight amongst each other. So all these tribal groups of people, with all the differences that they have, don't fight each other, that they get together and work for his cause. And that's why he created one religion, and he created in that religion, it speaks of unity, because it was supposed to stop tribal people, to put aside the differences that tribal people have, and to work towards the common good. In this case, it was his own self-interest. and he could care less. He'd rather leave this planet. So my reading is not disinformation if you can verify it, sure. It's disinformation when I'm literally injecting false narratives just to cause chaos and confusion. But if you need more of the academic type of research, the logical processing, the documentation, you can like take what I state as a psychic reading and go through the research and the logical steps of verifying psychic phenomenons, psychic research, and psychic readings stated out from how the person's able to understand it. So there are bases around this world. And then there's bases in Nashville. When I drove through Nashville, there's even bases around certain spaces. I remember driving through and I was like kind of being threatened by the person who escaped that base, because they're like, oh my god, this person's gonna know our operations here on Earth. We can't have this one with his eyes all wide and awoke and psychic and aware, like knowing our secret little operations and how we gotta hide from our enemies out there, the other alien groups. So I know there's bases there, and I also remote view on Mars. There is a being on Mars that also hide underground, like the aliens here that are hiding underground, because their enemies out there are very powerful enough and they're scared enough that they need to operate in secrecy and stealth mode. So someone like me, psychic, revealing their operation, because their operation is a no-no. I had a visitation in Laos. And I talk about this visitation. All my family thinks I'm crazy because I keep talking about this weird visitation I have in Ban Muang Khai, Laos. And Ban Muang Khai, Laos is situated next to Quang Si Mountain. That's where the base is at. And I see what they're doing. So they're using me as a research project for weird things that they want. And I see a lot of them kind of running around scared of many things, but also wanting to obtain human for research. Right now, our technology is getting so good that we will be able to catch them when they do when they do things to you. Normally, they'll drive around in their cars with their hybrid agents, and they'll call out their target. If they can control them enough, they'll call them out into the car. Or they'll get their agents to drive around the car, then they'll pull them down into this base. So you're not gonna get, when we're talking about extraterrestrial, you're not going to get like the full display. I think they were talking about a certain project where you get the display of the visitation. These guys have kind of been here operating in secrecy, and with these military bases they have hiding. I've seen other tall, very, very tall ETs. Very tall, they're like 14 feet or whatever, warning these guys to leave, to get out, to leave us alone, us humans. They don't do that. They said they're here to help us humans, which isn't true. They needed us human as resources. They're not here to help us out. But then again, certain human society probably would not be doing well without them and their technology. And certain group in there really want their medical technology, and their medical tech, since they're grabbing me just for experimentation to see if there's anything inside of me that would cure anything within them. Because I saw in Quang Si, the alien hybrid girl wanted something to cure herself. She wanted my body in particular, which is so gross. It grossed me out how they, like, I'm not gonna lie, like this whole Western medicine with like organ transplantation with I don't like it. You know, like I'm trying to be a vegan and I'm trying to live a vegan life. I like plant-based remedy. I don't like animal-based remedy and Western science. I really don't. I like my light medicine. I like my Reiki, and I don't like their medicine and their Reiki. This is when the pure-blooded alien reached out to me during this time, because they shown to me what was happening to me in Laos back in 2006. When I had that visitation, a gray came through, was rummaging around in the most violating, disgusting way ever, rummaging around in my uterus looking for a fetus, and I was telepathic enough to read its mind. It was looking for a fetus to eat. So it would go through to see, oh, who in this village in Ban Mong Kai is pregnant, and let's see if I could through this fetus to rummage through this uterus to pull out this fetus. The funny thing lately is I've been remote viewing people in New York. They look human, but they have in Tupperware like fetuses that they would eat, and then they will cook and boil that. Okay. And so when Epstein's file came through that they were doing this, and I think their operation is global. Okay, some of these guys are walking around needing this like baby stuff so that they can look young, needing these stem cells because they don't want to age. They're your celebrities. They're your military. They're your that's where they're at. They're there's the celebrities, and then there's the government, and then there's the ET and ET up, and they all come from like the negative factions, because there's the good faction. The good faction just been, and then there's those groups, right? They're saying we're here to help human, and they're not. That's why the other ETs that want to blast their bases and get rid of them, those particular ETs do not want them here, but they keep telling those particular ET groups that they're here to help humans. And they look like a human. One looks like a white guy, the other one looks like dark hair, blue eye, the other one looks buzz cut blonde, the other one looks so pale and translucent. She almost looked like they removed all the melanin from her, and she's very carnivorous and very emotionally unstable. Like I would see them, they would think about me, and they would get angry. They would feel angry, and I would see their faces. So, and when they think about, like, when you think about me, I see you. You know that, right? So when you're having like an active thought about me, I literally see you. So stop thinking about me. Most of the people that are thinking about me are focused on me. They're a part of that underground super soldier group. They're kids. They're using their kids to do what I'm picking up, psychic attacks. So their kids have been sending me psychic attacks, trying to give me a heart attack psychically. I've been blocking it. I've been clearing that psychic energy out of my body. I've been blocking it. So just letting you know, this stuff is happening. There are beings in the bases. They are human-like, but I wouldn't give them the respect of fully being human just because they're a part of that underground base, that society, that agent, and all of that. And so they do have their psychic soldiers that are attacking me. And last night, little birdie says that telling me I need to stop spreading misinformation. And why they probably didn't like the fact that it triggered them, because I did an AI generation of a photo of like babies with a little military gear, which kind of represents the super soldier breeding program, and the kids that I saw that were getting tortured and killed, and trying to see who survived so that they can become their super soldier military group, which is unfortunate for them because you're locked into it. And I don't know how you can escape that, because they're grabbing this girl, and then there's this psycho girl. They know how to manipulate. The more emotional you are, the more you're easily manipulated. And so this little girl has been trying to send out her psychic heart attack all this time. And I just want to tell you, you could try to send your psychic energy attacks. I've been blocking it.